Recently, a 52,000 square foot attraction called Northlandz opened in Flemington, New Jersey. It is a culmination of 25 years of dedication to art and creativity by local artist Bruce Williams Zaccanino. The centerpiece of Northlandz is the Great American Railway, billed as the world's largest miniature railway. But to Bruce, this scenic wonderland is so much more.
The misconception here at Northlandz that it's toy trains until people are in here. So many people have been calling this a wonder of the world, a world-class attraction, and I really think it is it's starting to approach those categories. The scenery is really the key thing here, and the spectacular scenery.
This artistic display started in the basement of Bruce's home. As the layout and crowds grew, it was evident Northlandz needed its own home. 4 years ago, Bruce began working on fulfilling his dream. The result is the incredible 16-acre Northlandz.
It's approaching 40 to 50,000 feet of track. We use only Atlas track and switches. We run 3 different gauges. HO is about 85 to 90% of what is here, and then we have Line L, and we also have LGB or G scale. We can run simultaneously about 125 trains at one time. Trains always need maintenance, and there's always a couple that are down and being fixed, and then we get them right back on the lines. There's several hundred bridges on the railroad. The longest bridge is 38 feet long, patterned after a bridge in Scotland, the Firth of Forth Bridge. Most of the bridges are made of wood. Some of them have taken several months to build. There may be 15 to 20,000 pieces of wood in some of these bridges. The bridges are built from scratch, piece by piece. 90% of the buildings on the railroad and the Wonderland, Scenic Wonderland are built from scratch. The small ones, the little homes type thing, they're built from kits. The almost 1 mile of tour aisleways that go through Northlandz, it's a real labyrinth. They go over each themselves. Sometimes you're 3.5 stories up looking down into a vast valley, and other times you're at the bottom of that valley looking up. And they crisscross back and forth in a very, what most people think is a very interesting way to add a lot of interest to the whole thing. On the tour, there are no steps, and it's a very gradual up and down on the walkway systems. And this is totally handicap accessible. And even people in their 70s or 80s have literally no problem going through here because people don't realize they're going up or down. That's how gradual it is. Each train has its own control. We have really 138 controllers in place as we keep adding. We're at 125 trains now. But in the next few months, we'll be expanding to more and more trains. We can get to every square inch of this at any time for dusting purposes or rearrangement purposes. It's engineered and built for that reason. There's almost 1.5 miles of hidden passageways all throughout underneath these mountains to get out at different points to hit everything, to be able to take care of everything.
Bruce himself admits he is an artist and not a model railroad buff. The trains simply add life to his scenic artistry.
Everything that's here, whether it's a bridge or a mountain face or a town or whatever, is pretty much out of my own brain or head or whatever. It's not a replica of anything.
Bruce's unique sense of humor is evident throughout Northlandz.
In addition to all the big vistas and the breathtaking views, as people tell us, we have a lot of detailed things that are sometimes based in humor or jokery or whatever. And we have a spot we call the world's only toothpick farm. And there's maybe a couple thousand toothpicks planted upright. And we have Grandma's Pit, also, where it's a quarry that's dug. Everybody sold but Grandma when they first started digging this quarry. So they dug around her and they gave her a little bridge to get off. And almost everybody that passes that laughs heartily. We have an outhouse manufacturing company. We have a mountainside cliff-hanging miniature golf course. Some of the fine details that we have here, we have a carnival with a many thousand-piece roller coaster. We have a bona fide plane crash on the side of a mountain, but the sign reads alongside that nobody actually got hurt. Another fun place that people enjoy is the Grand View Hotel that I don't think would ever be built in real life, but it's amusing, it's entertaining, and it's a lot of fun. All tongue-in-cheek, all to create some humor. It's a serious enterprise, it's a fun enterprise, and this has a little bit of levity.
In addition to the Great American Railway, Northlandz also features La Peep Dollhouse, an extensive doll museum, and a 2,000-pipe theater organ.
We have a theater. It's all part of the tour. They'll pass through the theater 3 times, and with one of the world's largest theater pipe organs, and that plays all throughout the day.
Northlandz is a combination of Bruce Williams Zaccanino's vivid imagination, his artistic creativity, and endless hours of hard work. But to Bruce, it's all been worth it.
I personally consider this a work of art. This is not just trains. It's an artistic endeavor. People are impressed by the artistry. The trains are not a small part of it. They run everywhere, and it adds a little icing to the cake. But the real thing here is the artistic endeavor and the grand scenery. And the end result is creating something that, you know, people think is very special, but it's seeing the love in people's faces and the enthusiasm and the happiness that comes when they're in here. Most people leave this place after their tour with stars in their eyes from what they've seen. They get very passionate about what's here. Any walk of life, any age, it's amazing the people's response to this place. I think if somebody has a talent to do something, something like this, or paint, or play music, they have to give it to the world. And that's what I've done. I have the talent to be able to do this type of thing. And I offer it to the world to enjoy.